Today we will start a very new topic of 11th class, that is dynamics of rigid body. So first of all we need to understand what is dynamics and what are the rigid bodies. Dynamics means the body must be in motion. Okay, uh, in this body can't be static with respect to time or with respect to the other objects due to its position. It's continuous in motion. And if we talk about a rigid body, then body must have some amount of mass in it. Now it doesn't matter. It has some gram of body, gram of mass of body, or it has some kilograms mass of body. For example, a rigid body can be anything. It can be living thing or it can be non-living thing also. A stone can be a rigid body. A table can be a rigid body. A desk can be a rigid body. A human body can be a rigid body. Okay. So also, a body is made up of very different particles. If the separation between the particles of the body remains unchanged under the influence of an external force, just like a box. Let us suppose on this box, if we apply some force on it, suppose this is a surface, on this surface there is a box having m mass. If we apply some force horizontally on it, definitely it will move some acceleration A in the direction of force applied. Now, the particles can't be separate due to the influence of external force of this body or box. Now, this body or box will be known as or considered as rigid body. Very commonly, or in a simple language, we call this body as a body. Now, in this chapter, we will study about the motion of rigid body and corresponding physical concepts. Concept of center of mass. Now, what is center of mass? That all of the mass of the body will be concentrated at the center of the body, and we just assume that whatever the motion of the body will be around the center of mass. So we need to understand the concept of center of mass. It is a certain point whose motion represents the translatory motion of a whole system, the motion of whole body. Now, this point is called the center of mass. The center of mass of a system of particles, it is a point where the mass of the system is supposed to be accumulated or concentrated for study of translatory motion of that particular body. Understanding the center of mass of two particle system. Let us suppose we have a system, it has only two particles, then how can we find out the center of mass of this particle? Center of mass two particle system. Suppose we have a system, suppose we have a system having two particles of masses, having two particles of masses m1 and m2 with their position vectors related to origin as with their position vectors position related to origin as carbon vector and R2 vector respectively. Now the position vector of center of mass will be given as position vector of center of mass RCM relative to origin O having coordinates 0, 0 is represented by following expression. Expression where RCM is equal to M1 R1 plus M2 R2 upon M1 plus M2. In next class, we will understand the complete derivation of this relation, that from where we can obtain this position vector of center of mass. Thank you.